We're all living in scarcity and we don't even realize. There, I said it. I said it, but anyway. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've realized that I have more to say than to show on camera, okay? Like my words, in my opinion, are so much more powerful than the fact that I'm doing homework every day. My makeup is getting better, but we're still working on that. For right now, y'all, like it's Black History Month, and I really just wanted to tap in and focus on the healing part of Black history. I saw this video of Monique on the Shannon Sharp podcast, and she was just talking about how trauma has become so normalized, and I 100% agree. I do think trauma has been normalized in the Black community, and I just feel like I want to talk my way through this trauma that I've experienced and that, you know, we're all somewhat going through. If you're Black, if you're not, this video is not for you. I have a lot of Black history topics coming up, so I'm very excited to talk about all of this because I am African American, and I do think that we need to focus on moving forward, but a part of moving forward is to talk about Black trauma. It all started with me reading this book called The Practical Guide for Healing the Developmental Trauma. And in this book, oh my gosh, you guys, there's so much. I'm only on the second chapter, and I feel like I've learned so much already. They're basically using this model called the NARM, which is the neuroaffective relational model, and they follow like a certain script of relating to people who have been through trauma, who have been through poverty, who have been through certain things that they cannot shake or that has affected their neurodevelopment. It's been so helpful, and I just can't believe the things that I'm learning, the things that this book has brought to my attention, and I just want to share it with the world. It's written by Lawrence Heller, PhD, and says Brad J. Kammer, LMFT, which I believe is a licensed marriage and family therapist, if I'm not mistaken. I really hope I'm right. But so they just are observing the therapy world and wondering why the people who are claiming that they want help and that they, you know, really want to be better are not actually doing better. And they're like, why are we hitting this brick wall of like people who, you know, saying that they want to do better but are not actually doing better? They've learned it's because there's PTSD, which is like post-traumatic stress disorder, and then there's CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. The complex version of the trauma is actually way more, you know, they put the complex in there because it's just more, there's more to it than to just be traumatized by one situation or one thing that has happened in your life. I don't really know how to explain, but oh look, I opened up to the perfect page. It says, wow, I can't believe I opened up to the exact page. I'm gonna read what I underlined here because I really think that this is important. And it says, the diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder does not fit accurately enough. In survivors of prolonged, repeated trauma, the symptom picture is often more complex. Survivors of abuse in childhood develop characteristic personality changes, including deformations of relatedness and identity. In addition, they are particularly vulnerable to repeat harm, both self-inflicted and at the hands of others. If that don't tell you everything you need to know, y'all need to read this book. Like, it's single-handedly helping me analyze my trauma and analyze certain things about my developmental phases that have caused me to feel so lost as an adult. But anyway, this book has really motivated me to talk about Black trauma, everything in the Black community that needs to be discussed. The first topic of healing African American trauma for Black History Month is the scarcity mindset. And I am a victim of the scarcity mindset, and I'm still working through having a scarcity mindset, which is sad to say and like scary to think about, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. But let's just start with the fact that most Black people are living in scarcity. What is scarcity, you may ask? Well, I have my notes here. I have my notes because there's so much to talk about. The scarcity mindset is like a psychological perspective where, hold on, let me read what I wrote. The scarcity mindset is a psychological perspective where individuals perceive resources as limited or scarce, leading to feelings of insufficiency, fear, and competition, which I know a lot of people struggle with, okay, especially in the Black community, but that's a whole different topic. People with scarcity mindsets tend to focus on what they lack rather than what they have, Instead of being grateful for all the things that they have, they're just sad about the things that they don't have. And it's not good to think that way, is what I'm learning, because like I said, I am a victim of scarcity mindset, okay? And I say that because I've recently lost my job, and I've been thinking so scarcely. Like, I've been having the scarcity mindset of like, oh my gosh, there's not enough jobs. I'm not going to be able to find something. I'm just getting overwhelmed, stressed, sad about everything, you guys. I have been in the trenches these last 2 days, okay? Just in my own head, depressed, not leaving my room because of the scarcity mindset. Like, in my head, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, there's not enough jobs to go around. How am I going to find a job? Like, XYZ. I had to take a step back and reevaluate the whole situation. Knowing what I know and like being so mindful and realizing like, why are you thinking like that? Like, why are you borderline? Like, I can't believe that even me being so mentally aware and just self-aware and having the knowledge that I do, and still feeling like there's not enough for me. Maybe I'm not going to get the things that I want, like just the little things, not even the little things. How do I say? I don't know, just realizing that I'm thinking that way, it really made me reevaluate myself, reiterate my whole plan, what I had going on, and just keep going. Because when you live in scarcity, you really convince yourself that there's not enough to go around. Like, you really convince yourself that there's not enough, and there's more than enough, okay? There's an abundance of opportunity. You really just have to put in the work. You have to be optimistic. You have to stay motivated, I guess. And you can't look for motivation in other places, online, your favorite influencers. Motivation literally starts within. So if you're not self-motivated, then you're probably you may or may not achieve the things that you want to achieve, because if you're not even self-motivated, if you can't even motivate yourself, no one else will ever be able to motivate you. And that's something that I've learned over these last few days, okay? It's just important to not have a scarcity mindset. And I think within the Black community, we struggle with this a lot, and it comes from slavery. Everything relates back to slavery. We all know this. Thinking that there's not enough because, we have to ration out our resources and just make sure, like, it's just a toxic way to think. But anyway, so there's another note that I want to say because I really love this. The scarcity mindset can hinder personal growth, satisfaction, and success because it limits the ability to see and pursue abundance and opportunities, which I just touched on that like a few minutes ago. But yeah, it literally limits what you think you can achieve when you really can achieve more than what you're even thinking, How does this apply to the Black community or the African American community, you may ask? Well, this applies in many ways, but I'm really just going to name 3 because this is not about what we're lacking. It's about how to move forward. So the first things first is economic opportunity. Historically, let me see what I wrote here. Historically, Black people have faced barriers to accessing economic opportunities, such as discriminatory hiring practices, unequal pay, and limited access to education and capital. So the school to prison pipeline. I wrote, this can foster a scarcity mindset regarding financial resources, making people feel that there are limited opportunities for economic advancement, which it does seem like it's so hard to climb the socioeconomic ladder and just change your economic status, because in history, it's just been, I don't know, it's not a secret that everything is harder for African Americans. And I'm not talking about Africans, people who are of the African diaspora. We are talking about descendants of slaves in America, okay? Has been much harder. The second way scarcity mindset applies to the Black community in education. And you know what? This is another reason why I had to make sure my mic was on. This is another reason why I'm so focused on getting my degree, because I just know it's going to put me in a different mind space, put me in a different mindset. I'm so sad the sun is going away. What are you doing? Like, I gotta speed this up now. So, education disparities include unequal funding for schools in predominantly Black neighborhoods and systemic barriers in higher education, systemic barriers to higher education, which is completely true. Yeah, I could probably name on one hand the people that I know who actually graduated college from my high school. Okay, a handful of people. Okay, maybe two hands, but that still is shocking. If people are not, I don't even know how to really explain this because there's so much to it, but basically if Black students are not seeing opportunities, if colleges aren't coming to those schools, if the education system is not pushing college on students in the lower income community, they're not even gonna. I personally didn't even think I was gonna go to college in the first place. Okay, I didn't even think I was gonna go to college in the first place. But when I moved to North Carolina and I saw so many people who were going to college, who grew up in two-parent households, who just wanted more for themselves, it was so inspiring to me. I was like, I want to go to college. And that really helped me and motivated me to get a higher education, even though I'm still working on it. And I've been out of high school for 9 years now. So I've definitely had a struggle with my education journey, but it's different for me. I literally had to wait until I was 25 to be considered independent and not a dependent, so that I could get my own financial aid, because your parents may or may not, there's just different things that limit African Americans to go to college. And I think education is very important. Even if you don't use the degree, you still have the capability to see something through, and you still have the capability to, I don't know, learn more. You're adjusted to learning. You have the capabilities to keep learning, So once I finish, just know it's a wrap, okay? It's a wrap. But anyway, the third thing is representation. And I love this topic because the lack of positivity in the media, in the Black community, and just other industries it's not giving. It's really not giving. I will say that. And I say that because people like Sexy Red, Sukiana, I'm not bashing the women for being who they are and, being the type of Black woman that they are. But in a sense, like, we don't see classy Black women uplifted in the community. Everybody want to be Ice Spice now, okay? And it's like, I feel it, they baddies or whatever, but positive influence wise, I don't think that they should be the ones guiding the youth, So the fact that we don't see Black people with positive representation in industries such as music, art, media, and just general positions of power is very telling. It's very telling, okay? And a part of it has to do with what you look into and what you teach the youth, and you know, it's all internal. It has nothing to do with the media and society and white people, and you know, it has nothing to do with that. I'm speaking as a Black woman in general. I want to see other Black women look up to people who are more poised. I don't know how else to explain. So scarcity mindset shows up in the Black community in several different ways, but the three that I just touched on were the economic opportunity, education, and representation. So those three are like just the general of where I see the scarcity mindset show up. And now I want to talk about how to remove the scarcity mindset. I know that this is a video for Black History Month, but this applies to anybody. You could literally use it in any situation. I have 8 points here to show how we can limit the scarcity mindset within our community. Number 1, awareness, which is where I was at. Understanding and recognizing when you're thinking in the scarcity mindset, when you're thinking negatively about your economic status, your social status, your education. Like whenever you're having those negative thoughts, recognize that, realize that, and turn it around. Flip it literally to be the opposite, you know? And like I said, this really applies to me, y'all. I really be making these videos for myself because I don't know who else to talk to. I don't. And like I said, these last 2 days, I've really been down bad, and I'm trying to just flip my mindset, flip the narrative, and become more self-motivated, you know? I can't look into other people to motivate me. I literally have to do it myself. So yeah, that's that on that. Number 2, practice gratitude. I haven't been doing this lately, but I do need to get back into my gratitude journal because I have been crying every day. And I'm grateful for everything that I have, and I'm so appreciative for my life. At the same time, sometimes things just get the best of you, you know? Like sometimes you're not motivated. Sometimes you just want to cry for 2 days, and that's okay. You can cry for 2 days if you want to. That's fine. So yeah, practice gratitude, focus on what you do have rather than what you don't, and things will just start randomly coming into abundance, okay? Things will literally start coming to you when you realize that you're blessed and you should be grateful to have the things that you have, to live the life that you live, even if it's minuscule. I could be happy to be wearing this vest, to be having some poppin' lip gloss, okay? Like, you could literally be grateful for anything. The fact that you woke up this morning, even though like I was praying I didn't, because I was just so down and just so in my own head about the scarcity and like feeling like there's not going to be enough for me. But I had to pull myself out of that. And a part of pulling myself out of that was getting up, getting dressed, coming to the library. I'm outside the library, got to do homework. That's literally all I've been doing. So yeah, practice gratitude. Excuse me. So yeah, practice gratitude, okay? It's important. It really is. And I'm learning that because even like thinking about all the things that I'm grateful for immediately puts my mind in a different position. Immediately. So, number 3 is the abundance mentality. And here I wrote, embrace the abundance mentality. Know that there are plenty of resources, opportunities, and success to go around. You don't have to think that there's not enough for you. Like, there is, okay? There's more than enough for you. So don't worry. It's gonna be fine. And like I said, I'm talking to myself. Number 4 is positive affirmations. I do think that this goes with gratitude, but definitely practicing positive affirmations for yourself, for your life, the things that you're grateful for, rereading them, revisiting them, even if you have to stick them on your mirror in the morning, like I did for some weeks a couple months ago. Do that, okay? It's important to practice gratitude, be grateful for your life, for yourself, for the things that you have, even if you only have a little bit. even if you only have a little bit and you know that you're going to receive more by being grateful, be grateful. Number 5 is focus on solutions. And focusing on solutions is what led me here, because once I realized that I was borderline suicidal, I was borderline not here, I've realized that I have to focus on the solutions and pull myself up. I had to be like, okay, how do I get myself out of this mindset, out of thinking like this, out of feeling like this? Like, how do I change it for myself? And then I had to start thinking about the things that I love to do. I love to talk. First of all, I'm a talker. Yes, I love to talk. I could talk all day, literally all day. I love to write, which this video is going to have an article linked in the description, so you could read the article if you'd like. And I like to draw. I like to paint. I like to create. I literally love all things creating, which I was doing art on my channel, but I think I'm going to pivot and just do more of a sit down type situation until I find my art style. Because I don't know, I just feel so much pressure with putting my art online that I just want to change that. I just want to do something else and just leave my art to be private until I feel like I want to make it public. Okay. Number 6 is invest in personal development, whether that's learning new skills, pursuing higher education, starting a business, seeking mentorship or guidance. Just invest in yourself. Like, whatever you have to do to make yourself better, whatever you want to do that is going to make you better, do that thing. Invest in yourself, okay? Even if it's literally just going for a run every morning, invest in yourself. It's so important on the scarcity, just healing the scarcity mindset as a Black person. And number 7, we have surround yourself with positivity. And this is something that's hard, because I know within the Black community, it can be hard to be a positive person without people think you're faking it, without people thinking like you think you're better than everybody else, without people thinking, it's a competition, because it's literally not. Like, it's so important to surround yourself with positivity. And that's something that I'm still looking for, because I don't know, all the friendships that I had or have, just they'll be positive, but at the same time, like, I haven't found my tribe. I haven't found my group of people that really make me feel comfortable around them. And I don't know if it's just because I'm still working on me and I still have a lot of work internally to do, or if it's just not the right time. I just haven't met the people who are going to be with me for the rest of my life, On the surround yourself with positivity, I wrote, limit your exposure to negative or scarcity-oriented environments and media that reinforce your limiting beliefs. Okay? Let me read that again. Limit your exposure to negative or scarcity-oriented environments and media that reinforce your limiting beliefs. It's important to not be on these social platforms, especially on Twitter. Twitter is so toxic, you guys. Like, people just, their minds don't work right. And that's why I had to delete that, because even on Instagram, like, people's energy is affecting your currency, okay? People's energy is affecting your mindset. How people think, what they put out into the world, and you receiving that is not positive, okay? The spaces online do not be positive. People be acting like they want you to win when they really don't, okay? And that's just that on that. So surround yourself with positivity. That's really important. And lastly, we have practice generosity, which is something that I'm working on, because I do think I'm generous, but at the same time, I'm not generous with my time. I'm not generous with my resources. Well, I'm generous with my resources and I'm generous with my talents. I'm just not generous with my time. Okay, like, I'm so picky on who I want to spend my time around, what I want to spend my time on. Just, I'm so picky, and it's important to be generous to other people. I'm generous in the sense of, like, giving advice and just being around people and listening. I can literally listen all day, but I'm not generous with my time. Like I said, I'm super picky on where I want to go, what I want to do, who I want to see. I'm picky, but I want to be more generous and I want to be more open, because maybe that's why I'm not finding the connections that I want, because I'm not generous enough. Okay. So practice generosity. And here I wrote, practice generosity by sharing your time, resources, and talents with others. Giving freely can reinforce feelings of abundance and interconnectedness, is also something that I wrote, which is very true. Because when I was feeding the homeless the other day, I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt abundant and I felt connected internally. I really did. And that made me put this as a category on here, because practicing generosity can get you so far. Okay. Even like going to feed the homeless, I met a woman who is a network. I was able to help other people. I just felt so good about it. So it's important to practice generosity. To sum this up, this is what I think we need to focus on in order to heal the scarcity mindset within the Black community. Number 1 is awareness. Number 2 is gratitude. Number 3 is positive. Actually, no. Number 3 is the abundance mentality. Number 4 is positive affirmations. Number 5 is focusing on solutions instead of problems. Number 6, invest in your personal development. Number 7, surround yourself with positivity. Absolutely. And number 8 is practicing generosity. Okay. And those few things are things that will get us so far within the Black community if you're working on removing the scarcity mindset, like me. Hey, join the club, because we're all living in scarcity and we don't even realize. There, I said it. I said it, but anyway. In conclusion, this is what I wrote. In conclusion, changing a scarcity mindset is a gradual process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It requires patience, self-reflection, and consistent effort, is what I'm realizing. And I lack in the patience and consistent effort like categories, but we're working on it. Okay, we are working on it more than ever before, because I almost ended it all the other day. Okay. So if you adopt these practices and actively challenge your limiting beliefs, I don't know, I just feel like individuals can cultivate a mindset full of abundance and just recreate greater opportunities for success and fulfillment in their lives. And I think it's important to not live in scarcity, because you can open your eyes up to so much more and not be so one-sided. But yeah, so this is my Black History segment of Healing African American Trauma for Black History Month. Follow me, subscribe if you're new here. If you're not new here, thank you for joining us, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.